I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. Today, as first speaker, I'll be talking to you about why the Ministry of Education is completely responsible for the failing schools in Jamaica. The Ministry of Education is a government entity responsible for the management and administration of public education in Jamaica. The Ministry of Education was first established in 1953 as the Ministry of Education and Social Welfare. Currently, the ministry carries out government of Jamaica's mandate of ensuring a system which secures quality education and training of whose responsibility was it to furnish these schools? The Ministry of Education, of course. Students had to stay home and miss vital teaching hours. According to Jamaica's National Education Strategic Plan 2011 to 2020, and I quote, "A renewed emphasis on accountability, security, and safety in schools, early childhood development, information and communication, technology and media education, national literacy and numeracy thrusts are among the main elements of this plan. Our educational institutions must deliver better results. The Ministry of Education must lead the process and has identified strategic priorities. These priorities are: 1. Improvement in processes and systems to enhance delivery of service. 2. Enhancement of educational outcomes. 3. Improvement in faculties and infrastructure. 4. Building leadership capacity at all levels of system. And 5. Creating an environment which fosters positive social interactions." End of quote. Once again, my opponents, the Ministry of Education is responsible for failing schools. They have an education strategic plan. They are mandated to see to it that elements of this plan are enforced because such institutions will forever be placed under the microscope because they receive public funds. Can we note, no private institution is on the list of failing schools. Why? Their stakeholders protect their investments. Likewise, the ministry must protect its investments and be held responsible for failing schools. Failing schools are the Ministry of Education's responsibility. In order to repair the damage or problem, we need to strengthen the mechanism of accountability. With accountability, there must be transparency. The Ministry of Education must put mechanisms in place to monitor all schools. The Ministry of Education must examine the management team of some of these failing schools in order to make them successful. Principals should be on contracts. They are the chief operating officers of these institutions. Robert Lightbourne High has a capacity of 900 students. The principal reported a current population of just under 300 students. Yet, with such a low student population, the school was placed at the bottom of the list of underperforming schools when ranked by EducateJamaica.org in the 2013 CSEC examinations. My worthy opponents, the ministry should intervene and hold the principal and teachers accountable. My opponents, are you aware that in many failing schools, there's a widespread unease and discord among administrative and academic staff? In many instances, principals do not have the confidence of their general staff. This is due to their management staffs. There is no doubt that this will and does affect the performance of our schools. It's time for the Ministry of Education to finally step in and take its rightful responsibility for failing schools. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman, judges, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my worthy opponents, the Ministry Ministry of Education must take a serious approach to how school boards are constituted. The ministry must see to it that only people of impeccable character and requisite educational background are appointed to sit on school boards. If not, the failing school syndrome will only continue to spread like a wildfire. When we look through the education system, we see failing schools, therefore failing students. We move on to become failing adults and failing workers. And what Jamaica will have is a failing workforce and a failing economy. If the government holds to prevent this, the Ministry of Education must make the first step and take its rightful responsibility for failing schools. Now, with the opponents, give these things a thorough thought. I thank you all very much.
With a failing grade in the area of teaching and learning, most teachers reflect minimally on their teaching. So in most cases, lesson delivery lacks depth and fails to stimulate active interest, said the National Education Inspectorate's Chief Inspector in her report on the school. You, my worthy opponents, are still saying it is not the Ministry of Education's responsibility for failing schools. Think again. The Ministry of Education, in its response to queries about the unsatisfactory performance of some schools, stated in a release that it has been strident in getting schools to implement recommendations documented in the National Education Inspectorate's report. It is a mandatory policy direction at the Ministry of Education for all schools to develop School Improvement Plan, SIP, in order to facilitate the continuous efficient operation of their institutions so that all schools can achieve the desired good rating, said the Ministry of Education. You see, the Ministry of Education's responsibility. According to the current Minister of Education, Senator Wilfrid, who was from 2006, the principal of a prominent high school in St. Andrew, stated, and I quote, "Too many weak teachers are in the education system. What you see across the system is a profile of average teachers, average teaching, and an average system. It's a symptom of the education system because you have had many people who have gone into teaching who they themselves have struggled to get their diplomas. Right now, only 20% of teachers have a first degree, and at the early childhood level, many people don't even have one CIC pass. We need more accomplished educators to take up positions at the primary and secondary levels of the school system. We should hold people to high standards of accountability with several checks and balances in terms of action plans and lesson plans, monitoring student outcomes per class, per teacher, making sure you have ongoing professional development, making sure the resources are available so teachers can't complain they don't have the resources. All these key factors are what we have put in together to drive our performance upwards." End of quote. He called the Ministry of Education and the leadership of other educational institutions to embrace measures that have been implemented at his school. My worthy opponents, I hope these facts have erased doubts from your minds. The Ministry of Education is and should be responsible for failing schools. The Ministry of Education should take the bull by the horns and transform the whole education system so that every school will excel and we will stop having pockets of excellence. Everybody will be on the same high standards once systems are put in place. That is, quality leadership at the school level, quality boards, and support staff. My teammate will now elaborate on solutions that the Ministry of Education can implement as part of its responsibility to eradicate failing schools. I thank you.
Failing schools is to undertake the eradication of learning unreadiness, chief of which is literacy. On the other hand, my worthy opponents. No teacher should want to work in a failing school. Therefore, such a teacher should leave that system or decide to join hands and hearts with the newly formed leader to change things in a positive direction. With the Ministry of Education taking responsibility and making its presence felt, what should be done across the entire system should be done in these selected schools. All these ills, my opponents, can be cured with one bill. The Ministry of Education, of course. Failing schools is the Ministry of Education's responsibility. Thank you.
We were very impressed and very proud of what we heard and what we saw. You're very intelligent with the children, and I hope you continue. Okay, because we're short on time, I won't get into the details, but excellent points were brought across, and no one is a loser today. And the match was very, very close. However, the winner is United Learning Center. Is the third speaker, Daniel Gordon. And the best speaker for Permacal is Kamara Lewis. Just a few tips when you're speaking. Well, we saw confidence, but be more confident. And be careful of who you pronounce the words, because you might get marked down for that. Just be confident and project. At one point, couldn't hear some of what you said. We had this training. And audience, please remember to be quiet so we